Thank you. That was lovely. Hate to follow that now here. Well, the Stewardship Committee asked me to speak on community. And this has been an easy one for me because I love this community. And I'm going to start with a story. In 1982, Paul and I attended a recital of the famous tenor Luciano Pavarotti. And he had the most angelic voice you would ever want to hear. And at the end of the concert, he held out his big arms. This was a big man. And he felt like he hugged the whole audience. It was an amazing feeling. And I remember that, and that's been 40 years. So, that's a wonderful feeling. How many of you have that feeling kind of when you walk in this sanctuary? Or when we send somebody off with our hands? Or if we bless somebody who's joining our church? Or maybe just coming in here for that 24 hours of prayer, and you come for an hour and you just sit in the sanctuary by yourself. Well, I know I feel that big hug every time I'm around this church community. 10 years ago, Gretchen invited our daughter to sing in the choir, and I decided I may as well sing in the choir too. And the choir accepted me with open arms and open ears, and if anybody wants to join us, I'm sure Gretchen would love to have you. And I was singing in the choir about 2 weeks, and Ann Smith came up to me and said, "I think you'd be great on the fellowship committee." And I'm like, "What? I'm not a member of this church. I've just got here." And she said, "No, I think you'd be good." So I reluctantly agreed and said, okay. And I met some amazing people. Jerry Hanna was the leader, and if you all know Jerry Hanna, he was a very special friend of mine. Wade Honey and Dan Barnes were our co-people in that committee. And while we were there, we organized fellowship events, we cooked second helping meals together, we reached out to the LGBT community on campus, and we marched in the Gay Pride Parade, and we became great friends. And then one of the other things that happened when we first got here is I heard about festive feasters. And festive feasters is when 6 to 8 people come together and they have dinner or coffee or breakfast or whatever. And Paul and I loved sharing meals with all the church people that we met. In fact, as I look out here, I think I've shared a meal with about half this congregation. And when I retired, I thought I would join that Tuesday book club. Now, a lot of the people in the book club don't live here anymore. But now I'm in a new community of care just because I've volunteered or I guess reached out to be part of that community. Now, the dictionary defines community as a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. And one of the reasons Paul and I choose to financially support this church is because we believe in those attitudes, interests, and goals that are stated in our mission statement. That we want this type of community to thrive, and our support helps that happen. Another reason we support the church is we feel the sense of belonging that comes from the willingness to just pitch in and be part of something bigger. The world needs more caring communities, and our church provides that. So join a committee, volunteer for second helping, take a chance by attending an outreach event, or just say hello to a new person. There is a place for everyone in our church. And if you didn't raise your hand to say, "I feel that big hug when I walk in the sanctuary," let me invite you to that right now. Let me send you our warmest wishes and welcome you and invite you to join our church community. Big hug.